And I feel like finding closure within yourself, finding confidence within yourself, finding the support within yourself can be helpful, because if someone can't provide that for you, at least you have it for yourself. Hey, what's up everybody? It's Gwen and welcome back to my channel. Or if you're new, welcome to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a sit down hair and makeup chit chat get ready with me. I haven't done one of these videos on my channel in a while just because I've been switching to strictly natural hair content, since that seems to be the most popular content here on my channel. But I am going to be doing my hair as well. I'll also be doing a quick natural hair update, life update type of thing. But the majority of this video is going to be talking about how to love your natural hair. So I think this is an important aspect of the natural hair journey. And this is something that has come up in my journey recently. So I thought I would show you guys what I've learned so far. Also just provide some reassurance for you guys in case you are dealing with the same thing and you want some, just some reassurance that this is normal and that this can happen. I know I'm an influencer, YouTuber, whatever, but I am human as well. You know, everyone has their bad days. People have insecurities about things. So I don't think it's anything abnormal. That's what this video is going to be about. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Also be sure to turn on all your notifications and follow me on Instagram at SoNaturallyGwen. All right, let's get started. I had to change my outfit like twice because it's so hot. It's starting to get warm and I'm not complaining, but it's really hot. So anyways, yes. So hi you guys. I feel like I haven't done like a sit down video in so long. But anyways, so let's start. I know you guys are probably sick of looking at me in a scarf. Yes, I'm going to do like a quick life update and then I'm going to get into the topic of the video. I'll have timestamps just in case I end up rambling. But yeah, so as far as me, still in medical school, I graduate pretty soon, but there's not much to report. I'm about to graduate and be a doctor, so that's really cool. Also, natural hair. I'm probably going to do like a separate natural hair update video. I'm coming up on my, coming up on my 5th year natural. I'm fully transitioned, so that's cool. But yeah, so I took a break from YouTube, as you guys know. It was only, I think it was like a month or two, but you guys, it was literally like, I wouldn't say it's like the best and the worst 2 months of my life. Like it was necessary, but it was not fun. And an aspect of that break that came up was I was really going through it with my hair. So as you guys know, or I don't know if I told you guys this, but like within like the past like 6 months to a year, my hair has just been going through a lot of changes, and products that I used to like aren't working anymore, things like that. But yeah, anyways, yeah, so aspect of that time when I was off or like away from YouTube, I was just having an issue with my hair. I wanted to straighten it again. I was frustrated. My hair was just acting up. And yeah, I just had to do like a really good deep dive into like what was going on. Like I was like, what the heck? School was really stressful at that time. So that's definitely what I think is the cause of it. It's crazy how when you're dealing with something, it can kind of permeate into like other parts of your life. So if you're going through, you know, being upset about where you are in your natural hair journey, I feel like it can definitely, you know, be related to something else. This is from H&M, in case you're wondering. Tie it maybe. Ooh, okay. Like, do I want tails? I don't think I do. Okay, I'm not mad at this. But yeah, like I mentioned, so I just wanted to straighten my hair again. Every little thing that I was doing with my hair, I kind of didn't like. My hair was frizzy. It wasn't cooperating. I was trying a bunch of different products at the time, so that was really the issue. But nonetheless, you know, I just felt like things that I was having trouble controlling in my life, like with school and everything, I felt like it was just kind of permeating into my natural hair because, you know, our hair is one thing that, you know, we kind of can control. And this is definitely something that I've been dealing with since my break. I don't know. But yeah, so there was that. I was just feeling ugly with my hair. I was feeling, like, I felt like I was kind of feeding into whatever negative connotation comes with natural hair. I was starting to really see myself like identify with it for some reason. And judging myself and being upset that, you know, people's perception of me I can't control. And it was making me feel just really self-conscious. I'm 26, I turned 26, and someone called me ma'am in like a few months ago, I can't remember. But yeah, I was checking out at Forever 21 and the lady called me ma'am, and I was just like, it's like, okay, so like I have everything else going on in my life and then you're gonna call me ma'am? Excuse me. And it's just like, oh my gosh, does my natural hair make me look old? I'm also single, so I'm like, oh my gosh, if I look old, like no one's ever gonna want to talk to me or wife me up because I look old. Like I was just, all these things, I was just like, what the heck, man? And it was like I was dealing with stress with school, so it wasn't like I could just, you know, take the day off and, you know, go get my nails done, or, you know, it's COVID, so it was just like, ugh. As my mom would say, the pits. Like, I was just going through it. Little things that might not matter to everyone were mattering to me. And so that's the first step, is to validate your feelings. I think it's so common for people to say, you don't have the right to worry. You don't have the right to be upset. There's people worse off. And, you know, I acknowledge, you know, that it's important to be thankful for what we have, because gratitude is a way to deal with negative things that we see in our life that we perceive as negative. Gratitude is a way to kind of get yourself out of a rut and, you know, see the positive in something. So I'm not, you know, denying that that's a good tactic. But when it's done in a way to shoot someone down and say, like, you're not allowed to be upset because you're rich, or, you know, you're successful, you're this, you're that, like, someone would die to be where you are, like, get over it, stop being ungrateful. And I don't think that's good, because that's something that I've been learning a lot about reparenting and noticing certain habits that we have that are related to how we were raised. Just in general, I think this is a common thing, to, you know, don't worry about it, just deal with it. Don't feed into any emotion. It's going to be okay. Just ignore it. Just a very dismissive way of dealing with emotions of any kind. For some people that works. You can say don't think about it, and they don't. I said this on my channel before. I'm an overthinker. So for you to say don't think about it is like, it makes me angry, because I'm like, I can't. And then they don't know what to say after that. But validate your feelings. I feel like a lot of times when we are taught to, you know, don't think about it, or we're taught that emotions are bad, I feel like it forces us to police ourselves. We can't be comfortable with ourselves, and we don't allow ourselves to feel. We don't allow emotions that we do have to come up so that we can, you know, acknowledge them and work past them and try to reframe our thinking. So that is the first step if you are on your natural hair journey and you are going through something negative, something that's perceived as negative. Validate your feelings, because it's frustrating when your hair is acting up. That's a common thing. Something is not going your way, or something you're working towards and the results aren't presenting themselves the way you want or as quickly as you want. It's frustrating. That's completely normal. So I would definitely say first step for me was validating my feelings and just being like, yeah, you know, Gwen, this does suck. Like, you're going through a lot, like, in your life. You're allowed to feel this way. But What is important is what you do after that. So the next step is goal setting. So that is a perfect thing to do with those negative feelings. So as a medical student, I work with various types of healthcare teams, and a lot of times there are more than just doctors on those teams. A lot of times there are therapists, behavioral health specialists, and they've been actually helpful for me to learn things. He was basically like, okay, so if you don't like something, you have to say, okay, well, where do you want to be? And one thing that he says is stop shoulding yourself. Should, like shoulda, coulda, woulda. So if you say, I should love my natural hair, it's like, okay, like stop shoulding yourself. It's like, what do you want to do? Like, you do want to love your natural hair. Okay, so like you have to figure out how you're going to get there. So goal setting is important because it makes something positive out of your negative. It can make something progressive out of any negative emotion that you're feeling, because nothing is worse than having someone in your life who just complains about the same thing but doesn't do anything about it. So if you don't like the length of your hair, then your goal should be retaining length. I have some videos on my channel about retaining length. I'll put them in the description box for you. But yeah, so if that is your goal, then implement tactics and tools to help grow your hair. So there's that. Another thing is, if you're bored with your hairstyle, okay, then try something else. If you don't like how your hair breaks off a lot, try retaining length or look into protein moisture. I have a video about protein moisture balance on my channel. What I also like to do if my hair isn't cooperating is I just went back to the products that I know for sure were working. I think as a natural hair person, first of all, when my products stopped working for me, I was trying a lot of new products just to find something that I did like. So I think I was kind of in that groove, and I was trying to stay in that groove. And then my hair, if your hair doesn't like the products that you're continuously trying and they're new, your hair is not going to like it. Your hair is not going to be moisturized. Your hair is not going to be at its full potential. And also, things that you can change is like the aspects of your natural hair routine. So I know one thing for me was my hair takes too long to do. I have to like go through all this detangling and styling and letting it dry and all this pre-planning that I have to do because of my hair. I was really starting to get frustrated with it. Yeah. So one thing, especially with making my wash day routine go quicker, is I started to incorporate products that don't need to be left in as long. This was unintentional. Like I didn't specifically go out to the store and say, okay, I'm going to find products that don't need to be left in. But when I discovered products that didn't need to be left in as quickly, didn't need to be left in as long, I was like, oh wow, I can do that. So yeah. Another thing is my feet were hurting because at this point, my wash day routine takes 2 hours in the shower, which is ridiculous. And I'm standing and my feet hurt. You know, I'm in school, I'm working through my school and I'm on my feet a lot. So it's like the last thing I want to do is stand in my shower for 2 hours straight, you know, because your legs hurt. So I got a shower chair. So one of those like elderly, you know, people who can't stand in the shower, they get one of those. They're really cheap. They're only like $20 if you get like a simple stool. But yeah, I got one of those. I will admit I don't like use it all the time, but it's good like if I'm waiting for my my deep conditioner to work, or if I'm detangling and my arms start to get tired and I want to take a break, I can just sit down for like, you know, 30 seconds to a minute or whatever, like a minute or two. That's also something that I did. So just trying to have goals and try to think of solutions to your problems rather than just kind of ruminating in them. I do think it is good to get it out though. So if you have someone that you know that would be willing to listen and not give you advice, just sit there and listen and let you vent. Honestly, it doesn't feel good. I was talking to someone and I just let it out. Any aggression about anything, like I just let it out and it felt terrible. Honestly, it did not feel better. Like on one hand, it felt good to get it out of my head and, you know, release, but I felt terrible because I just kind of let my mind run wild. So once you've experienced that feeling, I feel like you only want it to happen once. So feel free to like, you know, talk to someone about it and kind of let out any aggression you have about anything. So yes, goal setting, it would be the next step in my opinion, just so that you can work to get to where you want to be. Next is managing your expectations. So I think the biggest thing with managing my expectations is patience. Instant gratification, it's hard to, delay gratification for me with a lot of things. And it's something I'm working on for sure. Just because it's important in life for any goal that you're trying to achieve to learn how to wait for it, especially if it's something that's worth having. But yeah, managing my expectations. So if you want your hair to grow, your hair doesn't grow in like 2 seconds. I know that there is like this video where like this person grew their hair in like a few inches like overnight. I forget how that works. But apparently that is a thing. You can use the inversion method. Like there's a bunch of different tactics. I'm just kind of like an old school, just wait girl, just protective style and wait. So yeah, so there's that. That's another thing with wearing my hair out all the time. I was trying to, live this fantasy of like, oh, my hair is being worn out like every week. Yeah, my hair can't take that, especially with the manipulation. So it's important for me to just remember, okay, Gwen, like that's how you keep your hair nice when you don't touch it. I find that my hair is a lot more stressed when I touch it a lot. And it translates into my hair being dry, brittle, tangling up a lot of single strand knots, which I'm required to trim off. And so, yeah. So I've been kind of managing my expectations as far as that's concerned and just kind of, dealing with what I was born with and focusing on my need for control. Another thing with managing my expectations is changing my hairstyle all the time. I think this is the most significant thing about natural hair that I've had to like kind of come to terms with. I feel like when my hair was damaged and I was transitioning, I just felt like my hair could take a lot more manipulation. And as I trimmed off my, damaged ends and my hair became more into its real texture, which is 4A, 4B, but also like really tangled up in like the crown and just, anyway. So as time went on with that, my hair was not able to take as much manipulation and I couldn't change my hairstyle all the time. And I was just kind of like, I was just getting bored with it. And I think it's important to manage our expectations as far as, okay, you can change your hairstyle all the time, but like, what's going to happen, right? Wash day is going to take longer. Your hair's going to have more tangles. You're going to cut off more single strand knots and your hair's not going to grow. So I kind of had to remember my goals and manage my expectations around those and be like, okay, so what can I do to change up my hairstyle? So this is a bun. I wore it without a scarf yesterday. I did a scarf like this. I use these little things. I have a bunch of clips. You could put a turban around this. Like I try to find ways that I can switch up. So I've been really into hair accessories just because I get bored easily and I think they're just cute. So that is something that is helpful for managing your expectations. And just overall, you have to just stay the course with whatever goals that you do have for your natural hair journey and manage your expectations around it and realize that it's not going to happen, right away. And that kind of goes into my next tip, which is to allow yourself to be a work in progress. Especially as someone here on YouTube, I shade myself for not knowing certain things, having to learn things over and over, or like not learn new things over and over and, do my research on things because I didn't know it inherently. And how are you going to be an expert on something if you don't try a bunch of things, if you don't learn, if you don't realize that, hey, I don't know how to do this, let me learn. So I think it's really, really important to not judge yourself and be easy on yourself. Okay, next tip is to focus on you. Okay, so this kind of goes into the whole energy thing. I've been kind of into that. So one thing that I did during my break on YouTube is a social media cleanse. In order to focus, I cut down on what social media platforms I was using. I only like certain ones, and then there's other ones that I wasn't able to be productive with. So the ones that I do like and that I kept around were YouTube and Pinterest. And then the ones that I didn't like was mainly Instagram. Instagram lately has just been really confusing because all I see on my feed is ads. And so yeah, focus on you, avoiding triggers, allow yourself to focus. Yeah, so I don't tend to follow people with the natural hair texture that I envy, or anyone who doesn't have hair texture like mine. I don't tend to follow their natural hair pages because I'm not gonna lie, some of the things they say trigger me, and I'm not to the point where like I know exactly what it is, but I do know it's comparison. And you know, comparison is the thief of joy, and it's so cliche, but it's so true. Because, you know, yeah, and I feel like, you know, little things can trigger you. I've started to notice little things that like make me upset in the natural hair community that I'll see. And rather than imposing my beliefs, imposing, you know, what I think on other people, I just, you know, choose to be there or not. So I don't follow people whose views on the natural hair community I don't follow. Some people think the natural hair community is dead. I don't think so. And I plan on wearing my natural hair for the rest of my life because that's the hair that I was born with. Like, that's my philosophy, but not everybody feels that way, and that's okay. So yeah, focus on you, focus on your goals. Seeing a bunch of people with, you know, perfect hair on social media, knowing that they only post once a year, maybe like every couple months. So you don't know what their hair looks like when it's not at its best. So seeing this highlight reel doesn't really help us. So I think it's important to focus on you, focus on comparing yourself to who you were yesterday and, you know, where you will be in the future, but also focusing in the present. You gain certain accomplishments, but you don't even give yourself time to move on to enjoy what you have. You always move on to the next. And I think it is important to, you know, not get complacent and, you know, maintain the momentum. But I also feel like if you don't sit there and acknowledge how proud of yourself that you are, that you've gotten this far in whatever goal you're achieving, you're never going to be satisfied. You're never going to be happy. And I felt like, especially during school, during my natural hair journey, during any win I had at all, I was not acknowledging it. I was acknowledging the negative. And I think it's important to focus on you, focus on those little wins that you do have, no matter how big they are, because they are wins. Okay? So if you have a to-do list and you only get one thing done, you got one thing done. You know, don't look at the other stuff. You got one thing done. That's cool. We'll try again tomorrow. You know, so I feel like it's important to make sure that you give yourself that leeway, because no one is going to be there for you like you are there for you. Okay? It's important, because if you can't pat yourself on the back and say you did a good job, who is going to do that for you? Because everyone has their own stuff. You know, I've noticed that too when it comes to talking to people about certain things. Not everybody is ready for that. Not everybody can compartmentalize when they're talking to someone else and then having their own stress coming through what they're saying and projecting onto someone else, counter transferring onto someone else. Not everybody is that, you know, savvy with emotions. So, yeah, you kind of have to take everything with a grain of salt. And I feel like finding closure within yourself, finding confidence within yourself, finding the support within yourself can be helpful, because if someone can't provide that for you, at least you have it for yourself. Or at least you can, you know, empathize with and acknowledge, okay, they probably have something else going on. It's probably not my fault. And next tip is inspiration. Inspiration, hold on, I'm like not doing my makeup. Inspiration is a huge part of my natural hair journey. I think inspiration is so important, but I also feel like it's good to get inspiration from unlikely places. I get a lot of inspiration from unlikely things. So going back to Pinterest, I have so many mood boards. I've been pinning more things from people with like hair types that aren't even mine, because I think it broadens your horizons. So if I only look at people with my hair type, I feel like it can sometimes make you get stagnant, and you feel kind of in a rut. I do think it's important to follow people with your hair type, just so that you do see yourself represented and you see yourself as beautiful. So that's definitely important, especially if you are growing out your hair, because you can literally just be like, I don't know what to do with my hair. So when I was growing my hair out, the person I looked at a lot was Amanda Sternberg, because on Pinterest she had like shorter length hair, like jaw length hair, and that was my length, and I didn't know what to do with it. So I looked at a lot of pictures with her. So yeah, I think it's good to look at a bunch of different photos with people who do have your hair type so that you feel represented and you get some inspiration. But I also feel like it's good to look at people who don't have your hair type, because you can broaden your horizons and get some inspiration. And I feel like it kind of helped me to figure out this hybrid of this style that I want to have. Because I feel like recently I realized that my style is just changing. Like if you scroll all the way down to my Instagram on, follow me at SoNaturallyGwen, by the way. But if you scroll like all the way down, you will definitely see that like, okay, she dressed a little bit more unisex. I wore a lot of boys' clothes, a lot of men's clothes, and I do still wear some men's clothes, but I feel like for sure I've been transitioning into a more feminine wardrobe. I feel like especially with the cottagecore trend, I feel like this has kind of awakened this new realization, because I've also been on a feminine journey. I will have been rattling my brain for like the longest to be like, what made me want to do this? So yeah, inspiration has been huge for me, and just kind of, you know, seeing what you like and making different mood boards and seeing different things, I think is really important, because it helps you to discover who you are. And I feel like, especially during COVID, I've been able to do a lot of soul searching and a lot of slowing down just to like hone in on who I am and like figure out what I want to change about myself, figure out what I want to change, why it's that way, and figure out how to move on from it. So yeah, that's very vague, I know. But with regards to your natural hair, finding inspiration, figuring out what kind of hairstyles you like, what kind of hairstyles you don't like, and not feeling pressure to do those types of hairstyles. Like, one thing, I don't like wash and goes. I don't like how my hair looks with wash and goes. I did a wash and go. I don't think I posted a picture of it because I hated it. But yeah, I did a wash and go, and I hated it. I thought my hair looked ugly. I don't like how my hair looks when it shrinks up, because my hair shrinks up to different lengths. Yeah, I don't like wash and goes, and so many people love wash and goes, and I'm like, okay, I need to figure out like what works. You know what? I don't like wash and goes. I don't have to do them, so I'm not gonna do them. I'm not a wash and go YouTuber. I'm just not. I'm just gonna stay in my lane. But anyways, yeah, so inspiration is huge. Make it your own hybrid though. I think, you know, when you're starting out, it's okay to like blindly follow someone, but I feel like when you progress a little bit more in like life or with natural hair, you know, finding your own personal style, I feel like is important for your natural hair journey, because I feel like it is the most long lasting, it's the most genuine, it's the most authentic to you. And so I feel like I've kind of found what I want to do with my natural hair, and I feel like I've kind of figured out how I want to look with my hair, and I feel like I am happy with it, and I'm okay with whatever hardships, trials, tribulations that come with that. I feel like, you know, I've learned a lot about my hair. So it's important to let yourself, you know, be that work in progress, set your goals, let yourself learn, and find your inspiration to help give you an idea of the possibilities, and, you know, figure out a perfect, you know, little space for you to be in your natural hair journey and in yourself, to help, I don't know, just kind of make your own place in your life where you feel comfortable and confident. And then you don't care if you see someone who can flip their hair around or can just lay in bed without a headscarf on or without their hair stretched in twists. Because you're going to be like, well, that's not my hair. That's cool for you. But, you know, that's not me. And heck, if you want a wig, go get a wig, you know, and be okay with that. So, yeah, all of that. Moving on. Okay, next is guard your peace. Okay, yeah, so only associate with people who don't draw negative attention to your hair. That's what the avoid your triggers, guard your peace type of thing. Another thing that is good is to go on natural hair communities, like, find natural hair communities. So you can join Facebook groups. I have not joined Facebook groups. That's something that I might do in the future. But one location that I go a lot is FROtorial. So the FROtorial app, it's a Black-owned social media platform for the natural hair community. I've been posting on there for about a few months now. I feel like about 4 months. I've been posting natural hair content that is exclusive to FROtorial. I sometimes, repost certain things, like certain topics, but a lot of it I try to keep separate just so that people have some incentive to go to my FROtorial. I don't want to put everything in the same place. But anyways, yes. So I like FROtorial just because it's a place where people can literally just be like, help, what do I do? This is happening. And, everybody is able to be there and be like, oh, you should try this. Or you could be like, oh, I tried this before. Like, oh yeah, that happens to me all the time. I like using this product. It's a really good community. I feel like it's good for people who are at different points in their natural hair journey. I think it's good to find locations that are healthy as well, because I feel like there's a lot of aspects of the natural hair community that have just been kind of infiltrated. Is that the word? Literally, if you look at the hashtag on Instagram, hashtag natural hair, there's stuff on there that is not even natural hair. So yeah, I've been just trying to filter out locations where I feel like it's kind of like a genuine community. So hopefully that can be this for you guys. Hopefully. Because yeah, I just feel like the world is just a little bit of a dark place, but everybody's kind of going through dark things. And unfortunately, people like to prey on people's insecurities, and they like to, make people feel less than because they don't love themselves and they're miserable. So they want you to be miserable. But you know what? That's their problem. That's not your problem. Okay. It's not your job to fix anybody. And the last tip I have is distraction. So this is something that I like to do. So any type of anxiety, any type of worrying, overthinking that you do, there are coping mechanisms that can be really helpful for any time that you are going through a rough patch. So some common ones are distraction, deep breathing exercises. You can use words of affirmations, positive self-talk. Relaxation techniques. Distraction is huge. Because I feel like a lot of times people be like, oh, meditate. I don't know about you guys, but if someone said do yoga whenever you're feeling stressed, I would just sit there in my thoughts. It wouldn't be very productive. So a good thing I like to do is listen to my favorite song. So my mentor, she mentioned this to me, and I took that and ran with it. And no matter what I'm feeling at that moment, it just kind of gets me, back into the groove, and I feel good to go again. Another distraction that you can use is exercise. So just taking your mind off of whatever you have going on can be really helpful. But I feel like I'm a medical student, so this is how I think. I think of migraine therapy, like the way you treat migraines, or no, asthma. Asthma. So you have your rescue inhaler, right? And then you have your maintenance therapy that you take every day that keeps you from having an asthma attack. But then you have something that is an emergency that you use in the moment, right? So think of listening to your favorite song as your rescue inhaler, and then exercise, talking to people that you like, avoiding your triggers is your maintenance therapy, right? That's what I like to do as far as managing any anxieties that I have about anything. Like I said, I feel like a lot of things can translate into different parts of your life. All right, you guys, so that's the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed the tips that I have for loving your natural hair. And I hope you guys enjoyed finding out a little bit about my recent natural hair woes and a little bit about a life update. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Also be sure to turn on all your notifications and follow me on Instagram at SoNaturallyGwen. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.